Bridge deal details released. The text of the deal to open the Gordie Howe Bridge seems to contradict Prime Minister Mark Carney.
There'll be lots of time for people to argue and sort of microanalyze the terms of this deal. I think the Prime Minister did the right thing.
Solo celebration.
It certainly puts a damper on what would otherwise be a very momentous occasion.
U.S. politicians uninvited to the opening of the bridge. And local wines hit with 50% tariffs.
My first reaction was I was incredulous.
Why Ontario winemakers say the impact is minimal.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. With 5 days until the Gordie Howe International Bridge opens, Canadians can now read the fine print of the deal that finally cleared the way for the crossing to open. CTV's Travis Fortnum has been working through the details, joining us now in the newsroom. So, Travis, does it really line up with what the Prime Minister has been saying this whole time?
Well, not entirely. The agreement confirms Canada will begin sharing some revenue with the United States during the bridge's first 15 years, but it appears to do so while Canada is still paying off the bridge, despite previous comments from the Prime Minister suggesting revenue wouldn't be shared until that debt was repaid. Under the original 2012 agreement, Canada was to keep all bridge revenue until it recovered the billions of dollars it spent building the crossing. Only then would revenue be shared with the U.S. The new agreement changes that. It says Canada will share half of the bridge's net revenue for the first 15 years of operation. Quote, net revenue means money left over after paying to operate the bridge, not after paying off the bridge itself. That's different from how Prime Minister Mark Carney repeatedly described the deal, saying revenue would only be shared once the bridge's debt had been repaid. Despite the contradiction, Windsor's mayor says he's on Carney's side.
I trust the Prime Minister is dealing in a very complex environment with an irrational partner. And we've got one of the largest infrastructure projects that was built in Canada waiting to be open. And so he had to find a pathway to get it opened. When I read what's been posted online, my takeaway is that there will be very little revenue flowing into this economic development organization over the next 15 years. It allowed both sides to make the political messaging that they needed to make to get this bridge open. And, you know, there will be lots of time for people to argue and sort of microanalyze the terms of this deal. I think the Prime Minister did the right thing.
As of right now, the Gordie Howe Bridge is still planned to open to traffic on Monday, but in a surprise move, American officials have been uninvited to the opening ceremonies on Friday. The official statement is proceeding with a joint celebratory event would be, quote, inappropriate following the recently announced tariffs.
Okay, Travis Fortnum, thank you for this. And that is where our Chris Campbell picks up the story. Instead of the bi-national celebration many envisioned, the Americans will not be there, nor will the Prime Minister. Chris, what is the reaction you're hearing tonight?
Yes, Stephanie, the bridge itself may symbolize cooperation between the two countries, but politics have changed what many expected opening day would look like.
The fact that we're, at this point in time, unable to celebrate the way that we all hoped that we could, that's regretful.
For years, the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge was expected to be a celebration shared by Canada and the United States. Instead, officials will mark the occasion Friday with a much smaller, Canadians-only event.
In normal times, this would be the type of bridge opening where you would have the President and the Prime Minister meeting in the middle.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkin says the ongoing trade dispute and rhetoric from U.S. President Donald Trump have taken away what should have been a historic binational celebration.
It certainly puts a damper on what would otherwise be a very momentous occasion.
Former Windsor West MP Brian Massey says while he understands the reasoning, he wishes allies from both sides of the border could have celebrated together.
This was an opportunity for us to unite beyond the politics and remember the struggle to get this far.
Conservative Windsor West MP Harb Gill also calls the decision disappointing, but says the focus shouldn't stay on the ceremony.
We build these projects to attract investment, create jobs, improve productivity, and grow our economy.
Political analyst Lydia Miljan says the unusual circumstances reflect an unusual period in Canada-U.S. relations.
Well, we're really in unprecedented times. We have never had this type of flip-flop when it comes to like you say, a major piece of infrastructure.
Across the river,
I don't need to attend a ribbon cutting. I'm completely unconcerned about going to a photo op.
Detroit Regional Chamber President Sandy Barua says the politics surrounding the ceremony are secondary.
The most important thing is to get this piece of international infrastructure that was paid for fully by our friends on the Canadian side of the border opened and usable for companies in North America.
He says once traffic begins moving, the bridge will do exactly what it was built to do: strengthen trade and create opportunity on both sides of the border.
What the new bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge, does is that it helps accelerate commerce and business opportunities on both sides of the border.
While opinions differ on how opening day is being celebrated, there appears to be broad agreement on one thing. Getting the Gordie Howe International Bridge open to traffic is what matters most for the future of the Windsor-Detroit corridor. Stefanie?
Agreed. Okay, Chris Campbell. Now this takes us to our question of the day. Should the opening ceremony of the Gordie Howe Bridge be a Canadian-only celebration? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday we asked if you would buy American alcohol if it was back on Canadian shelves. Out of almost 1,400 votes, 67% say yes, they would. Now, Trump's latest tariff threat covers hundreds of Canadian products, including wine. So what does that mean for Essex County's wine industry? CTV's Robert Lothian took that question to the vineyards, joining us tonight with what he's learned. Now, Robert, I bet the answer isn't exactly what some might expect.
That's right, Stefanie. Winemakers in Essex County say the news won't actually sour business in the region or really across Ontario at all. The Trump government's taking aim at the industry with these new 50% tariffs, but in reality, producers I spoke with say the U.S. makes up very little, if any, of their business. In a large number of new sweeping tariffs, Canada's winemakers have seemingly found themselves in the crosshairs of the U.S. government.
My first reaction was I was incredulous.
But the shock from Cooper's Hawk co-owner Tom O'Brien isn't one of concern.
Because there's hardly any wine shipped out of Canada into the United States. It's kind of a tit for tat because California wine isn't on the shelves.
The U.S. president's threats include a 50% levy on wines heading stateside. It's a market O'Brien said is hard to profit in for many Canadian producers.
Notoriety, acceptance, familiar with the name, and there's probably a 30-year-old perception that Ontario wines aren't very good, and that's not true anymore.
The move is in part a response to many provinces pulling U.S. spirits and wines from the shelves more than a year ago, a decision lawmakers in the states say is causing harm to their producers. According to the Ontario Craft Wineries Association, the new counter tariffs won't cause that same harm here in our province.
The truth is that there's not a lot of wine that's sold into the U.S. And so if there's not much to tariff, then there's not much to lose.
Sprucewood Shores President Steve Mitchell says his Essex County winery previously sold to one state, but stopped when tariffs were first announced.
There was probably not the environment to be trying to pitch Canadian wine into the U.S. at that point. And we just agreed that it was a good time to kind of stop working on that. And in light of today's news, I'm glad that we did.
Province-wide, Mitchell says the industry is actually seeing growth.
There is an element of the the products not being available, and so people searching for new alternatives. And then the largest part of why Ontario wines are doing so well is the increased shelf space allocations in grocery and convenience.
For O'Brien and Cooper's Hawk, tariffs or not, the focus remains on helping Essex County grow its winemaking footprint.
It's not a threat because it's not going to hurt us.
Now, at the same time that the wine industry is seeing success, new changes could help tap into a much larger market. On Tuesday, 9 provinces, including Ontario, agreed to drop interprovincial barriers on alcohol sales. This effectively means the brewers, wineries, and distilleries will be able to sell products directly to Canadian consumers in other provinces. Now, Quebec and the 3 territories have not signed on to the agreement, though the premiers who did ink this deal say it will make it easier for the people out there who are looking to buy Canadian. Stefanie.
Good to hear. Okay, Robert Lothian tonight. Thank you for that. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. And wow, Gary, chillier.
It is cooler. You're right about that. Good evening, Stefanie. And certainly breezier, but we welcome the cool. Low 20s this afternoon across Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and the surrounds. We can see the downtown core here in the Rose City and across the Detroit River, where our friends are enjoying better air quality too. Not much to see as ridge of high pressure has kept things quiet. In terms of active weather, it's well to our north and east. We see fair weather cumulus and stratocumulus around. Not really going to talk about rain for at least the next 2 days. I'll break down this forecast, this seasonably cool one temperature-wise, just ahead. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Windsor police are investigating after a crash sent 2 teenagers to hospital. Investigators say 2 teenage boys on a motorized scooter entered an intersection at a high rate of speed around 4:30 Tuesday afternoon, colliding with another vehicle. Both boys were thrown from the scooter and struck by a nearby light pole. They were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone who witnessed the crash or has more information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Now, the cause of the $500,000 house fire in Windsor has been listed as undetermined by Windsor fire officials. This raised ranch-style home was heavily engulfed in flames early Saturday morning in the 1200 block of Stanley Street. Investigators say they were unable to properly evaluate where the fire started due to the extent of damage. Therefore, the cause listed as undetermined. No injuries, but 1 adult and 5 children have been displaced. There was also radiant heat damage to neighboring homes. An order to comply has now been posted at the property by the city. A request to add more emergency shelter beds for women will be back before Windsor City Council next week. A report from city administration recommends waiting before approving additional funding, but the Welcome Center says the city's numbers don't show the full scope of the demand. CTV's Sanjay Maru now. Sanjay.
And Stefanie, our viewers may remember this issue from last month when council chose not to immediately fund the Welcome Center's request for more women's shelter beds. Instead, a majority of councilors asked administration to come back with a report to study the request first. And now that report is in. It doesn't question whether the need exists, but it does recommend council wait before spending the money. When a woman calls the Welcome Center looking for a bed, there isn't always one available. It's why the shelter is asking the city for nearly $192,000 to create 12 additional emergency beds for single women. But a new city report is recommending council hold off on approving that funding. It says the number of recorded turnaways has remained relatively stable, averaging about 230 a year over the past 3 years. But Welcome Center Executive Director Lady Laforette says that finding does not reflect where women are actually choosing to seek shelter.
They're looking at data saying the system has space, and yet the one gendered shelter is at 99% capacity, and the co-ed shelters, women beds, are only at 78% capacity. We're turning women away daily still, day after day.
That distinction is also central to Councillor Kieran McKenzie, who originally called for council to consider the shelter's funding request, that an open bed elsewhere in the system may not meet the same need.
The difference between, let's say, the Mission, who's providing an incredible service to the community as well, versus the Welcome Center, it is not, the Mission is not a gender-based facility.
The Welcome Center also disputes how the demand is being counted. Laforette says the city's figures focus on identified individuals while leaving out a much larger volume of calls, including some from women who do not provide their name.
When I looked back at that same report, one of the numbers they didn't pull is that there was 1,400 calls in total. So we did 1,400 calls in that time period, which again, the data tells a story. And it's telling us that there's some women who are calling who are not sharing their information with us.
The report says there is still capacity for women elsewhere in Windsor's shelter system, but Mackenzie says that doesn't necessarily address the particular need the Welcome Center is trying to meet for its clients.
Administration thinks there's capacity in the system there currently. I don't agree with that one bit.
And we should note that while administration is not recommending this funding request be approved right away, they are recommending that this request be considered during the 2027 budget process. We did reach out to city officials for comment, but we're told they would not be able to speak in an interview until after council deliberates on Monday. Stefanie.
Okay, we will follow up then. Sanjay Maru, thank you for this. Now, Amherstburg could soon see its first full-service hotel in over a decade. While the town is home to a boutique hotel and a bed and breakfast, there hasn't been a large hotel since Duffy's closed in 2013. Now, a developer is proposing a 5-story hotel at the corner of Simcoe Street and Meloche Road, along with 3 4-story mixed-use buildings featuring commercial space and apartments. Plans for a hotel were previously announced in 2018 at that same location. Councillor Molly Allaire tells AM 800 this project would give sports teams, tourists and other visitors a place to stay close to local attractions like the Libro Center instead of booking rooms in neighboring communities. A public meeting is scheduled for August 10th at Town Hall. Public feedback will be brought before council does consider a proposal. Now, the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit is warning the public the West Nile virus is circulating in our community. Officials warn certain types of mosquitoes can spread the virus. They can have a potentially serious infection to humans. So far, though, in 2026, no human cases have been identified in our region. Now, to protect you and your family, the health unit suggests use insect repellent that contains DEET, wear long-sleeved shirts, long pants, and a hat when outdoors. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or question? Please text us at 10400. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, as Trump's trade war heats up once again, tough questions over new tariffs on Canadian exports. Crime is down on paper, but many Canadians don't feel any safer. When we return, why the numbers and public perception don't match. And tomorrow, the results of a major cross-border drug investigation. The record-breaking seizures and arrests police say dealt a major blow to organized crime. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Donald Trump's tariff strategy faces fresh scrutiny, according to top trade officials. The architect of his agenda testified before a Senate Finance Committee. CTV's Judy Trin has the latest on the trade talks.
Senator Wyden.
The general in Donald Trump's trade war, Jamieson Greer, was grilled on why he was using a 1930 law to put new 50% tariffs on Canada.
Nobody, not even Herbert Hoover, used this provision before, but Donald Trump dug up a zombie law to make things even more expensive for Americans.
The U.S. trade representative justified the actions.
We're fighting against a ban on American liquor on shelves. We're fighting against hard caps on export of American cars. So we've never banned Canadian products. We've never done that kind of thing, but we're fighting against caps on American cheese.
The senators responded with a barrage of examples of the pain Trump's policies were causing. They say last year, costs for the average American family went up by $1,700 and tourism plunged.
Number one, our tourism is down about 40%. A lot of that has to do with the rhetoric that the president has used, and I don't hold you responsible for that. But the 51st state, the governor of Canada, that rhetoric has really inhibited Canadians from coming down.
There's concern the White House has crossed the line with these new tariffs that impact an additional $28 billion worth of Canadian exports.
How are you approaching the risk of
retaliatory tariffs from Canada.
I talked with my Canadian counterpart yesterday. They did not say they're going to retaliate.
The Trump administration continues to exempt Canadian energy from tariffs. That's also where they're the most vulnerable.
I mean, it's, the truth is, if Canada wanted to, you could shut down our electricity in New England and cripple oil and gas.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has not ruled out retaliation. The government is considering targeted action, especially in Republican states where seats are up for grabs in this year's U.S. midterm elections. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Some positive stats on crime severity, an index that measures not just how much crime is happening, but also how serious the offenses are. CTV's Adrian Gobriel now on the key takeaways and why the numbers are down.
A visceral reaction to violent videos.
People are not feeling safe. A lot of people are nervous.
While some may feel that crime is increasing across the country, the latest report from Statistics Canada shares that the Non-Violent Crime Severity Index nationwide decreased more than 5% in 2025, and violent crime across Canada dropped a little more than 4%.
That's the second decrease after several years of increase.
The Crime Severity Index is relative to the population and the severity of the police-reported incident. Since 2015, the national rate has increased. That changed in 2024.
Almost every province and territory saw a decrease, with the exception of New Brunswick and Nunavut.
Those scenes like this, caught on camera and shared widely, has many Canadians feeling vulnerable.
The numbers are what the numbers are, but I think it's what people feel inside that gives them comfort or gives them concern.
People feel unsafe. Former Toronto Police homicide detective Mark Mendelson believes that the proliferation of violent incidents shared on social media is in part skewing public perception.
Things like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, people view that and they make their assessments based on what they're seeing on social media.
The former Toronto police officer also believes that the national per capita data doesn't always give a clear picture of what's taking place in a specific city or community.
We've seen the equal number of murders that take place in Nunavut over the course of 36 hours in Toronto.
One crime that did increase in 2025, shoplifting under $5,000, spiked 11%.
We see marauding people going into liquor stores with the hockey bags and just loading up and walking out the door.
While most categories are decreasing, Statistics Canada says a 2-year dip is still too small of a sample size to proclaim that crime is going down across the country. StatsCan analysts tell us that they'll need to see 5 consecutive years of crime stats going down before they can confidently say that the country is heading in a sustained, safer direction. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Back home, the Soup Shack in downtown Windsor is asking for the public's help. The nonprofit organization is in need of men's and women's size small and medium underwear, socks, and reusable grocery bags. Donations can be made directly by visiting the Goyo Street location between 3 and 9 p.m. Soup Shack volunteer Bev George says the organization is really seeing an increase in users. In Toronto, the TSX gained 116 points. In New York, the Dow fell 6, the Nasdaq lost 146. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.03 of a cent. Gold gained more than $75 an ounce, and oil is up almost $2.50 a barrel. A rare and contagious form of skin cancer has been discovered in freshwater fish in Canada. Those details still ahead.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thank you, Francis, for this beautiful take. Amherstburg, sunsets, gorgeous. And we're looking at gorgeous weather the next couple of days. I guarantee it, dare I say. I guarantee it. I said it again. Next on CTV News.
Breezy, much cooler today. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the weather.
sunshine, right? High UV, of course, so protect yourself in all respects. Sunblock, sunscreen. I'm going to hammer at that at all times because I care. I care about you. I care about our team here at CTV. Let's enjoy the sunshine in a healthy way, of course, and protect your eyes. Sunglasses. Buy them. Use them. 23 degrees today, about 5 degrees below seasonal. It was a cool overnight. 15, wow, 2.5 degrees below seasonal. So we'll take it. The good and bad news is it's not going to last forever. We're looking at temperatures still in the mid-20s, perhaps tomorrow, and then we could see things start to climb, certainly for next week. Let's talk big picture in terms of air quality. Right now, we're not looking at anything significant in terms of wildfire issues over the next little while. Air quality is at 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. That's good news. Temperatures between 21 and 23 in extreme southwestern Ontario. Temperatures much warmer across the prairies, mid to upper 20s, so we are cool and breezy with the winds out of the north-northwest sustained at around 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. It has refreshed our atmosphere at the surface. It has felt better in terms of temperatures. The humidity values are low in the low 50s, so humidex isn't an issue. The ambient temperature is what it feels like, and high pressure is clear the skies of the wildfire smoke and clouds. Precipitating clouds are not likely to be seen until the weekend, so I'm not even going to show you a precipitation map. So what's in store for tonight? Let's take a look at the breakdown. It's beautiful. If you want to be on a patio and comfortable, it's gorgeous. Partly cloudy conditions through 8, 10, and clear through the midnight hour. 21 degrees at 8 p.m., 18 at 10 p.m., by midnight 16. The overnight temperature about 13, so it's cool and below seasonal, but comfortable. Just wear an extra layer. Tomorrow, sunshine. Friday, sunshine, 25, followed by 27. Mixture of sun and cloud turning to cloudiness Saturday into Sunday, 28, and then 31, then 28, 28, 26. Seasonal, but cloudy with the chance of isolated showers to start next week. That is a look at your 7-day forecast courtesy of Intercure Styles.
Researchers behind a new report examining the occupations of people who have died from opioid overdoses are hoping it will raise awareness about the number of people impacted by the opioid epidemic. The report found more than a third of opioid-related deaths between 2018 and 2024 involved people who worked in construction or the trades. The lead author says, the research reaffirms previous findings that construction workers are disproportionately impacted. The rate of opioid deaths was similar for workers in natural resources and agriculture. Now to an unusual story. Catfish in Canada and the U.S. are reportedly giving each other skin cancer. Mysterious black skin lesions were found on bullhead catfish. The lesions are linked to melanoma, an aggressive form of skin cancer. Researchers at the University of Vermont say that the disease can't infect other species and that there is no known risk to humans. But it's only the 4th form of transmissible cancer ever documented in the wild. Researchers say studying the fish will help us understand how cancers survive and spread.
A golf championship is here and another is coming. We'll fill you in. Join me on the sidelines coming up next.
We are on the sidelines with Bob Belichico tonight. And Bob, there's a big tournament underway at Point West this week.
Let me start by saying meteorologist Gary Archibald, the golfing world thanks you today for this glorious weather. It was so good. because I know the last 2 weeks I've been complaining about how hot and muggy it's been. It was great today at Point West. The Ontario Golf Senior Men's Championships is going on. It's an impressive tournament and a good catch for the region.
They've never been here to our area at all, right? So I have a guy here who's came down. He's going to Point Pelee after. He's never been to the southern tip. So it's just kind of nice to showcase what we have here in our area and then also at our club. We're very proud of it.
And they should be, too. The greens were great today. Very fast. Golfers at the Ontario Senior Men's Championship had to be on their toes for sure. Now, James Morgan of Point West shot a 73 during Tuesday's opening round and was second overall after day one. He and a few others are inside the cut line, trying to make it to round 3, the final round tomorrow.
Of the 156 players, 26 of them will move on to the National Championship, which is held in Winnipeg in September.
Competition is heating up on the Unico Primo Junior Golf Tour. Henrik Minge won event number 7 at Ambassador the other day to leap over Finley Burns to take over the top spot on the leaderboard. On the girls' side, Madeline Beck joined the tour late, but has quickly made a move in the overall standings. She won at Ambassador and sits second overall behind tour leader Cassandra Rombouts. Event number 8 is tomorrow at Sutton Creek. Now, Erie Shores in Leamington is hosting the U13 and U15 provincial championships on August 1st. Golf pro Alex Zappio is hoping to see at least a dozen local golfers qualify for the event. This will be the first tournament held at Erie Shores in 20-something years, believe it or not, and help the course celebrate its centennial year. Now, the clubhouse opened last year, the pro shop the year before that. Expect more to come from Leamington.
Golf is booming. We have a massive junior program with over 60 kids in it, which is amazing. So we're growing our game as much as we can out here. And we're super excited to have these kids come see our golf course and show off what they have.
A centennial year, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, in the boxing ring, a local boxer is looking to keep his winning streak alive.
Yeah, I like this guy. Hunter Lee had a great pro start, and, you know, he won his first 5 fights and takes a 5-0 record to Friday's fight against Pablo Polanco. Now, Polanco doesn't have a great record, but he's a seasoned vet who will give Hunter a good test.
It's great at Kronk, honestly. Learning so much every day and having, you know, legends come around the gym like Jimmy Paul, Milton McCory, and then my coach, Jimmy Mallow, you know, he's teaching me new things to improve. And that's why this Friday, you're going to see the best version of Hunter Lee here.
Another fight coming up. Cal Preperlik is training hard for his upcoming fight. He'll take on Matthias Rebecki at UFC Fight Night in Belgrade, Serbia. What a trip there. Both head in on a losing streak. Rebecki has lost 3 straight, while Cal is a loser of back-to-backs. At 37, Cal is showing that he's still in great shape and has a passion for the sport.
The older guys are holding it down a lot better. I think it's you get better with age type of sport.
Okay. Is that why you keep doing it?
Yeah, and I just love it. So, and I'm still like hanging in there, keep staying healthy and staying, you know, sharp, and basically at that high level where I'm not getting, you know, too hurt or I'm suffering anything, I guess, detrimental or traumatic. So far so good.
Always rooting for Kyle. Now, it's been a fun summer for Chris Chang, head coach of the men's basketball team at the University of Windsor. He spent some time in Turkey with Team Canada. Now, Chris was head coach for Canada's U17 team at the FIBA World Cup. This was his 14th event with Team Canada and 4th straight summer as head coach of the U17s. Canada beat China, Italy, Cameroon, and Puerto Rico and finished with a 4-2 record, good for 6th place overall. The tournament was won by the U.S. Now, it was a good learning opportunity for Chris.
Obviously, we don't see the European type of play, you know, on the day-to-day basis, but I think that at the same time they had to adjust to our play. But it was different in that way to see the different styles of play, which is always unique for me as a coach because I always pick things up from different coaches and different countries and their style of play. So things that I want to start incorporating here with our Windsor Lancer program.
Always learning, okay, and it's been a good summer for the Tecumseh Thunder. The U18 baseball team has a couple of big tournaments coming up.
Yeah, they really do, and this is prime time for the summertime right now. So first up is the Premier Baseball League of Ontario Championships this weekend, up the 401.
We've been preparing for this for pretty much a year now.
all winter, all spring, and into the summer now. So we've been practicing 2 times a week, 2.5, 3-hour practices sometimes. So we're all super fired up. We're still on the rise. We're not done yet.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to seeing what they can do. The season is winding down, but the Thunder 18s are gearing up for the funnest part of the summer. They wrapped up the PBLO regular season title and now are off to the championship weekend in Oshawa starting Friday. The group lives by these words: success through action, necessary, dedication, attitude, resiliency, determination. Put it all together, what do you get? You get standard. Those words are their standard. Now, league championship is this weekend, followed by the Ontario Elims after that.
Yeah, you know, we're pretty fired up. I don't think we've played our best baseball yet, so it's good that we still have a chance to peak towards the end of the season, which is exactly what you want to do going into playoffs here.
This one's fun. Speaking of playoffs, an Ontario team with a Windsor connection has qualified for next year's Canadian Slow Pitch Championship. Oh, yeah, what a moonshot. Jack Tater, dinger. He told that one goodbye. That's Holy Names grad Kevin Compo right there in the finals of the elimination tournament up to 401 in Dorchester. Thanks to my colleague Brent Lale for that video. Compo and others finished second place to powerful Titans team, who are the top team in the province. They've guaranteed their spot in the Nationals next season.
We work pretty hard as a team. You know, a lot of guys do a lot of work. When they get off work, right, go hit balls, right, play catch in the backyard, stuff like that goes a long way. So, you know what, we all come here, we work as a team, we battle. So it's going to be pretty good to battle with these guys at Canadians next year.
I love it. So much going on. Now, let me introduce you to Thomas Dunn of the Windsor Essex swim team. The 16-year-old from La Jeunesse was a hockey player before deciding to throw away his skates and then take up seriously the sport of swimming. Now, last year at Team Showdown, he dropped 16 seconds off his 200-meter breaststroke in a day and qualified for the regional tournament. That's when the switch flipped.
Like, swimming's like really hard mentally and not just physically. So like I just gotta like prepare myself for like the races coming up next season and prepare mentally and physically, and then I'll be ready.
Schools, he has nationals, OJI, so a little bit of recovery now to rest, get ready for the preparation and the hardship coming, and then he's just gonna have to go for it from there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
16 seconds in one day. Like, how do you do that?
It's impressive, just switching sports like that. Okay, and there's a soccer club in Leamington that is growing the sport for girls in our region.
Yeah, so the Leamington Soccer Club, United Soccer Club, excuse me, runs a program every Wednesday for young girls. I visited their season-ending party the other day and heard about how valuable this program is for the young players.
It was like a little bit of a challenge, like they're a little more rough, and just being able to go against girls was like a whole new thing for me, and I'm very lucky to have this.
The Unite Her League is a girls program offered in conjunction with Carrie Murray, who runs a nonprofit called Count Her in Sports. Now, it's a league for girls, which also encourages women to get involved as coaches and referees. Unite Her League had 70 players last year, 90 this year, and organizers tell me they are looking to make it even bigger next summer.
We got teamed up with her and that organization, and that's what really started this whole thing going. We actually started in 2024 in October, and we had a league last year in the summer. So we created a whole new league in the space of a few months. So it's pretty crazy, ambitious, but we pulled it off, and this year even better. And the girls are just having a blast. So that's the big thing.
You know what? I really love this idea. My daughter is in U5 right now.
There you go. Yeah.
With boys and girls. She's the smallest one on her team and in that age range. And I can tell she's a little intimidated compared to how she plays soccer with us at home in her backyard, at the park. So I love the idea of all girls. I really think it helps build their confidence.
Yeah, so the Eastside Kickers used to have a female program here in town too. So I guess SC in Leamington is sort of taking the reins from them and, you know, I guess regrowing the girls' sports. So, yeah, good to see them do that. Dan Santos and the crew over there are doing a great job in Leamington, so keep it up, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys again next year.
Okay, that's On the Sidelines with Bob Belichico. Thanks, Bob.
You got it.
Jim Jeffries is bringing his acclaimed Son of a Carpenter tour to the Coliseum stage September 11th.
Enter at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Jim Jeffries at Caesars Windsor, plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Celebrate Windsor Essex Pride Fest at Lansbury Park, August the 7th to the 9th. Details at wepridefest.com. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kettner. Now, Melanie, you have more about the needs of the Welcome Center.
That's right. Earlier, we told you city staff believe there's enough capacity for women across the shelter system, but the Welcome Center disagrees, arguing a gender-specific shelter serves a different need. To make her point, Executive Director Lady Lafayette compared it to another discussion happening at City Hall. She says it's like recent debate about councillor safety. She says if elected officials are thinking more about their own security, maybe they'll understand why some women seek out gender-specific shelter spaces.
Now you're seeing council consider safety, not from a group of men considering the safety of women, but men considering their own safety as council members. And how does that equate to what must that feel like for a woman on the street where harassment, violence, behaviors are a moment by moment occurrence as opposed to a one-off that we might have to prep for?
We got more details on the Welcome Center online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have an online story of note, Melanie, about a man facing 2 impaired driving charges.
Yes, Windsor police have charged a 34-year-old driver 2 times in the last month. Officers were called to Bruce Avenue and University Avenue West on Monday after a report of a driver nodding off at the wheel. Police say while speaking with him, they noticed signs of impairment and drug paraphernalia inside the vehicle. He had previously been charged after a similar incident on June 27th. And in our social spotlight, a Leamington gym employee has a good sense of humor. Even though the post looks like he's fired, if you read the small print, he's fired up for his shift at Impact Fitness.
Listen, captions are everything. He definitely grabbed his audience's attention.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully more people are in the gym.
Yeah, okay. And that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. From the Amazing Race, Canada will be joining us to give us an update on the last leg of their tour.
This is driving range weather. Ooh. Looks beautiful out there.
It is, just like Bob was talking about earlier on. Perfect for any tournament or just recreationally.
I think so. We're getting applause in the newsroom, no doubt. Next couple of days, Stefanie, look good as well. And we're looking at temperatures that are comfortably seasonal. A couple of degrees below seasonal. Tomorrow, actually closer to 3 degrees below seasonal with a high of 25. Today was 23. It was cool, late summerish, but we'll take it. High UV. So protect yourself next couple of days in particular, but protect yourself when it's cloudy because UV penetration does take place at all times, all year round, all season. Showers. Cloudy. And that's a wet story for the weekend, which will also lead into Monday and Tuesday. So Saturday, Sunday, 28, followed by 31, then 28, 28, and 26 to start things off next week. That's a look at your weather.
Another intense episode last night on The Amazing Race Canada. Again, mother and son team from Windsor, Amin and Soraya, in this heated competition. Welcome back. Now, let's talk about the last leg of the race.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
It appeared from the beginning that you had a challenging time with your knee.
Yes, I was suffering in a lot of pain from the original leg 1 of the race, running up and down Whistler Mountain. I sustained an injury and it just started to progress. So by leg 3, I really felt the pain and I was struggling to get my leg in and out of the cars.
Of course, in the Amazing Race, anything can happen.
We felt your pain.
Okay.
We felt your pain. We were there with you.
PTSD.
It's all good. Now, how was it to kind of take on, not that extra burden, but, you know, that extra weight you had to take on for this leg?
Yeah, it kind of sucked because I had to do the planting myself for the most part. My mom was, you know, doing a lot of the light work, packing that in tough, but I had to do pretty much 99% of the lifting, which wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But we made it through, and it was okay. And I just had to make sure that I kept an eye on her and her knee to not push her too far. You're a trooper, Mom.
So you guys finished on the mat in 7th place. What was your favorite part of this leg? Because you guys chased cows, you rode the Jasper Sky Tram, and you rappelled, well, you rappelled, from the side of a mountain.
Lime Rock, yeah.
Yeah, Lime Rock. So what was your favorite part?
The most fun part of that episode, or the most fun part of the leg, was definitely the cow chasing.
Yeah,
was it cows, calves, whatever it was?
Calves, yeah.
Calves, and that was just a lot of fun to me, and that kind of like bullpen and chase them around. They're a lot faster than I thought they were going to be, so that was pretty interesting to try and, you know, find a strategy and a tactic to get those ribbons off their tails.
Nice job! Glad I could help.
The entire leg was amazing, just from riding that, you know, Rocky Mountaineer from Kamloops to Jasper. It was just
beautiful,
it was all
beautiful scenery. Seeing wild animals all over as we're taking that train ride and through the Rocky Mountains was just fantastic.
And the weather was insane, so not a cloud in the sky. It was like the most perfect day for that.
Picturesque.
It was.
Okay, it was a very exciting episode. We can't wait to see what happens next week. Again, Amazing Race Canada kicks off every Tuesday at 9 p.m. You can also stream episodes the very next day on Crave. Again, thank you for joining us in studio.
Thanks for
having us.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching. We're back at 11 o'clock with your only late local newscast at 11.